right, hello, everyone. Just started the stream apropos of nothing, so I'm gonna give people maybe a couple minutes to trickle in case anyone does trickle in. But in the meantime, let's talk about what I'm doing. We are playing Sunless Skies. If anyone hasn't heard of this game, and there's probably a lot of people because it's a middlingly small game, it is a darling. So it's a sequel to the game and the company have kind of an interesting history. It's a sequel to Sunless Seas. And okay, so what is Sunless Seas? I believe that it started out as like a text-based browser game, very much in the vein of kind of not turn-based, but like a classic adventure game, right? Where you find yourself in a room. Where would you like to go? There's a passageway to the north, to the south, right? That kind of descriptive text-based adventure. And it's not quite as sandboxy as that. You're given options of like where to go and what to do. Um, but I think the thing that was the most unique about the game was its aesthetic. It's got this really well-built world behind it, which is this kind of gothic, steampunk, Lovecraft vibe. It's set in London after basically like the sky opened up and all these eldritch horrors came through. And society, it's interesting because it's not post-apocalyptic. Society hasn't crumbled, but it has obviously adjusted to the shift. It's this monumental shift in worldview, and it's cool because, again, like, yeah, society hasn't collapsed, but it also doesn't seem like it's entirely safe from collapse. So there's this kind of ever-present danger. It's like a new dimension. Well, yeah, literally a new dimension has opened up, but also a new dimension in terms of like the grand strategy game of nations, right? Like whereas before, as a good British citizen, you were worried about France, you were worried about Germany, right? Now you're worried about France and Germany and the Underdark, right? And all of the horrors that are going to come crawling out of it. So it's this wonderful blend of like, yeah, Lovecrafty, eldritch horror, and like realpolitik, and true to form, like true to, I think it kind of nails the human nature element, which is like, yeah, there are going to be some people scrabbling for survival and some people dying horrible deaths, but there are also going to be a lot of people trying to figure out how to turn a profit, based on these new developments. And that's just so cynical and so down to earth and so realistic that I love it. So that was Sunless Seas. That basically happens. That Sunless Seas basically takes place on the ocean surrounding, I think it's called New London, which is like London after this calamitous attack happened, right? And there are all these new like factions and new creepy things in the area around it. Great game. Really charming, fairly simple. Sunless Skies is just that, but refined and distilled. It's same basic gameplay. You've got like a little ship. In this, it's a flying locomotive, and you travel around to different ports of call. You're trying to, first and foremost, keep yourself alive. Keep yourself from. There's a management system at the core here where you're managing your fuel, and which allows you to go from place to place, and supplies, which are like how much food you have to eat. And if you run out of either of those, you're basically fucked. Especially fuel, I think you're like, there are various things you can do to stretch them a little bit further, but you do not want to get to those points, because if you run out of fuel, then you start like cannibalizing the ship for parts or for things to burn. If you run out of food, you start literally cannibalizing. So that's kind of the core. The core is like stay alive. And again, this is where the really good writing comes into play, because that's kind of a backdrop that serves as the mechanical backbone for the game just telling really interesting stories. And that's what I really love about it, is that like the struggle to exist in this world is the struggle to see just one more leg of whatever story you're currently following. And the struggle keeps it interesting, while the stories give you kind of the overarching reason for being in this world. And one thing that I think, the game also gives you a fair amount of agency, where, you know, by the end of the game, not to do any spoilers, but you can really affect the outcome, and you can affect the politics of the area. So, okay, Sunless Skies. Sunless Seas takes place, like I said, in the kind of seas surrounding London. Sunless Skies is, I don't know if it's decades or centuries ahead. I think it's decades. It's like not as long as you'd think it would be, but now you're in outer space. And so you were piloting, it's so fucking committed to the steampunk aesthetic. You're piloting a flying locomotive. It's like we skipped, you know, the Wright brothers and powered flight and all that shit. And we just figured out how to make trains fly, I think via some kind of magic contraption. But yeah, we went straight from like the Industrial Revolution to space with no in between via this, you know, eldritch bullshit. And it's great. So like, yeah, just full steampunk aesthetic, which like you'd think would be tired by now, but it works for this game. I don't know. Okay, so that's enough of me talking about it. But yeah, it's a very new territory. There's a presence here. You know, like Imperial Britain has a presence, but they're by no means dominant. There are other human players representing other factions, and there are a lot of other non-human elements. So it's a very precarious hold, and there's a lot of room for maneuvering, let's say. So yeah, I've prattled on enough. Let's get started. This is my second playthrough through the game. One other thing that I like about this is that you could, like, the kind of classic way to play it is an Iron Man. I did my first run as a legacy campaign as an Iron Man. I'm trying to decide whether I should do the same for this one or if I should do Merciful. So, you know, I like purity, but in terms of content, in terms of like showing people what this game has to offer, I think I'm gonna go with Merciful. I don't feel like I have to establish my bona fides here, so everyone can suck my taint if they have qualms with that. I'm just gonna keep everything standard, playing on normal mode, baby. Our expedition to the domains of the dead has been eventful. The Orpheum is damaged and in grievous need of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Right. So another thing this game does is introduce you to the like kind of death and rebirth mechanic. Because like permadeath obviously sucks. Like, it's great if you're into that, if you're into that kind of hardcore mentality, but sometimes you're not, right? Sometimes you don't want that. Look, I'm a ship. I'm a little train. So yeah, long story short, there's a mechanic for if you die, you can kind of pass on some of your traits and items to the next captain. So there's a bit of like perma progression. Celestial Garden Run Wild. Love it. So I think my captain has yet to be kind identify this tutorial. Oh yeah, so you can do like... If you look down here, here's my fuel. I have 1 barrel left. And here's my supply cache. 1 crate left, so not a lot of supplies. The journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. The locomotive's damaged. Good luck, man. Uh-oh. Well, that ain't good. Yeah, it's 1905 BTWs. As first officer, the crew looks to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. You get the Orpheum safely. Turbo cruise control. Yeah, cruise control is just like go forward at max speed. Scavenge some shit. Got some fuel. That's it. That's all I got. Ozymandias. I'm sure that name isn't pretentious. Okay, so this is one of the cores of the game. Is this kind of adventure game text navigation. So the wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. So like I love that. It's so primitive, right? Like we've been thrust here out among the stars, and we've gone possibly against anyone's better judgment. But we're here, and we have to make the best of it. So do we have sophisticated NASA spacesuits? Hell no. It's kind of like it reminds me of like a whaling crew, right? But you better hope that works as well up in space as it does, you know, down in the terrestrial waters. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? What is the Blue Kingdom? I know, but you don't. Why the devil did we trespass on the districts of the dead? So the dead have a physical place in this universe. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heaven gape beneath it. So this is a choice. Normally you'd have more than one, but this is the only one. And the text can kind of give you a hint that maybe there's an element of danger here. Maybe there's a risk in this action. I jump. One of your companions throws you a line and you lash the two engines together, so I made it. The rest of the boarding party clambers inside. Your interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow paneled passages. You make your way toward the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. Okay, so these are based on your stats. I could clear the obstruction away, kind of brute force it, or lead the party on a more precarious path. So this is based on your iron, yeah, like your physical strength. This is based on veils. Skill of deceiving and evading. I'm trying to remember what kind of character I played last time, because I'm going to try to do the opposite this time. There's nobody here in chat yet to give me guidance. I think I did kind of go a straightforward approach last time. I'll do this time. The more circuitous route. Success. The rest of the boarding party follow you without enthusiasm. You recall the first time you climbed outside an engine, helping the captain fix a leak in an exterior pipe. The wind had shrieked, buffeting at you. You asked the captain what would happen if you slipped. You fall, she answered tersely. But where to? You asked. She looked down, then up, then back. The sky's depths spiraled all about you. Away, she said, and you heard her fear. Back in the present, you tumbled back into the Ozymandias through a shattered window. Your party spill in after you, glad to be back inside. I don't know if I'm showing my age here, but I remember the one section in KOTOR where you step outside and you just walk along like a gangplank. And it's the only section in the game where you do that. And it's this wonderful vista into, it's not emptiness, because, you know, in Star Wars there's a whole fleet there, and there's a magnificent backdrop, but similar feeling where it's like you are just suddenly exposed and naked before the cold universe. I love it. So anyway, conduct a thorough search. I believe I will. Oh, we got some shit. We find enough food and gear to restock your supplies. Very nice. And enough spare parts to make necessary repairs. Holds a cannon. Nice. Ooh. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. What did I find? Oh, so look at this. Look at this. Oh, okay. So normally I'd have to make a choice. Here I can choose both. So I get a ship, or I mean a cannon. Okay. And a bat. The heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts like bats to locate things of interest. Ports, resources, wrecks like this one to scavenge. Very nice. A diffident bat. So this bat is sentient, or sapient rather. It immediately begins haggling over pay. Oh God. Hello, first time chatter. Someone hawking some kind of bullshit service. What are you gonna do? Can I like do stuff from here, or do I have to actually go into Twitch to deal with this? Looks like I'd actually have to go into Twitch. That's a shame. Oh well. Alright. You have to put the bat back in its damn cage and leave it on Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. Huh, yeah, so haggling under duress. Okay, the Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Boarding party exchanges nervous glances. So, press onto the engine room or return. Yeah, let's press onto the engine room. Okay, so look at this. So send a smaller party ahead, or go yourself and conduct a hasty search. So notice before the die was green, indicating a fairly high chance of success. Now it's orange, indicating not so high chance. Hearts is the skill of convincing and enduring. I like the duality there. It's like a combination of charisma and constitution, if you want to think about it in terms of D&D stats. I'm trying to think about what I want my character to be like. So I decided to go with veils, which is like deception and perception. I could think of that playing in with either of these, honestly. Convincing and enduring. Like, yeah, isn't that kind of a weird mix? Because convincing is like more along the lines of like the deception, the flatterer, the social butterfly type of person. But enduring, you think of that as like, you know, straightforward, hard hitting kind of person. Whereas this is more of like a investigation. I'm just gonna go with this because it seems more straightforward, like in terms of more aligned with the previous choice that I made. Ooh, failure. The engine room's gray with spilled ash and littered with corpses. I search fruitlessly for coal, but linger too long. Ooh, a shard of the Ozymandias bite into the Orphean, mauling its hull. Okay. So. Press F to send out your scout. Cost supplies. Yeah, so it costs supplies, but the scout will then make basically like a circle. I forget how I open my chart. Oh, here we go. Tab. So look at that. This is what I can see based on where I am, but the scout can go much farther than that. So I know that there's something over here, and the something is a station. So in other words, somewhere where that I can dock my ship. Oh, Jesus Christ. The captain has summoned me. She lies in bed, black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. Well, that doesn't sound good. Inquire after the captain's injuries, approach the bedside. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. final command? Her mouth's blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm, her skin's hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. But promise. She breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. Yeah, Portuguese. Ugh. Promise me one last service. Promise. Sure. Sure, dude. All in my will. Be a better captain than I. She sinks back into the scorched pillows and a twisting, frantic fever. Alright. The captain hasn't come back. Hey. This is like your heat bar, so that you can't just fire indiscriminately. Also notice that, see? Now I can't do anything until this cools down. It doesn't take all that long. Chugga, 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 chugga. What kind of Bancroft is for? Alright, we in it now. We in it now. Oh shit, these guys are fucking each other up. Okay. I think there is a lock-on system. Not for the purpose of, like, helping me aim, but just for the purpose of, like, I don't know, helping me keep track of things. The Reach Marauder is defeated. Raid it, or strip it for remains. Given the fact that my hull was just damaged, I'm gonna strip it for remains. Not bad. +5. Let's kill this thing too. The Cantankerei are lumbering, half-fossilized isopods that will attack anything they disapprove of. Given they're very ancient and murderously grumpy, that means almost everything. So what do I do with this thing's corpse? I could gain sovereigns. I could retrieve a stony organ. I'll always find an uncanny specimen, but may lose crew. These aren't great chances of success. And these are things that I could do, but I don't have the equipment, so I'd need a butchery for this. I need to be half starved. So, like I was saying, there are options if you don't have conventional food, but they're not necessarily palatable options. So I don't have the option to do that right now because why would I want to? I don't see. This is clear on what I would lose if I fail, and I've got 8 crew. I don't know how many crew I need as a minimum. I don't want to risk a crew. Hopefully this will just do nothing if it fails. I did lose a crew. And I gained 6 gold. That doesn't sound like a lot. Look at that. Port. Ah, yes. Your terror bar. Also something you have to be careful of. It's kind of like Darkest Dungeon, where that will increase. And it increases for various reasons, like sailing in the dark, seeing something creepy. But this is like your personal terror bar, like you as the captain. And if it gets too high, I think things start to go wrong. So anyway, arrival at New Winchester. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolvesy Station. It's clogged with other engines. Scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with you, Captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the Orphean's doctor. He's just appeared at your shoulders. Shoulder. His face is solemn, his hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. I think the old captain is not long for this world. The passing. Yep. The Captain Whitlock has just passed. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. That's actually pretty good. Minute and a half. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority require their answers from the first officer. Me. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Character creation. Alright, so... Today, London lies between the stars. A new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened... Oh, yes, I remember. This is a direct sequel to one of the endings of Sunless Skies, where you open the Northern Gate. Basically a portal to, you know, this outer realm. Before the renewed Empress led her people into the skies. So the renewed Empress is literally Victoria. This is firmly set at like the end of the Victorian era, and Victoria just never dies. It's really fucking cool. You'll see it later. So what is my background? What's my origin? So high veils, high iron, high hearts, high mirrors, high hearts, high iron, high mirrors, or revolutionary. So last time, okay, I'm gonna put something out there. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away, but there are factions in this game. And to my mind, there's one faction that's a lot more, at least immediately appealing than the other. So there's like the Empire, and then there's the Empire's Company, which is like basically like the East India Company, right? It's a semi-private, semi-governmental concern that is tasked with basically like furthering the Empire's goals here. And obviously those guys are assholes, right? Obviously, fuck those guys. They're imperialist pigs. So I think a lot of players are inclined to side against them, which is what I did the first time. So this time, I'm going to be a good company man. I am going to further the Imperium. So what do I want to start with? I'm thinking maybe this one? High mirrors. Academic would be good. Or street urchin, high veils. Let's go evading and deceiving. I'm trying to think of a good story here. So like a street urchin who becomes a company man. The other thing you have to consider is there is combat in this game. So you don't want to min-max too hard into like the social skills and leave your combat lacking. So like I believe, so iron, I believe affects how much damage you do. I think hearts affect how much damage you can take. There's something there. But what's my story here? I'm thinking this one. Okay. The minister is responsible for the promotion and preservation of British culture. Oh god. It's a sprawling, many-branched institution. To which department were you appointed? So this is like your secondary skill. I'm thinking I'm doing with this. Affiliates you with establishment, affiliates you with establishment. All of these affiliate with establishment because that's like the primary thing. The information, I think I'm doing the information office. The office ingests raw information before it can reach vulnerable citizens, then regurgitates it in terms they should find less distressing. So this is the propaganda wing. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? Wealth? fame or the truth? Okay, so this is actually deceptively important, because this determines how you end the game. Oh yeah, this game, like, I did this the first time. I think I'm gonna do that this time too, because it's a really fucking cool ending. There are things happening in the setting of this game that you have to figure out, and those things are really cool. Like, we are bringing our human ambitions into this world, but that doesn't mean that it's an empty slate, a blank slate, right? There are other things happening. There were things happening long before we got here, and things continuing to happen even as we're here. And I want you to see that. So, what do I look like? What does my extremely detailed character profile look like? A hat, a hood, a turban, just hair, a fucking, like, army hat, sailor's cap. What the fuck is that? What is that? I'm trying to parse that. What is that? What is that? I don't... Yeah, I can't figure out what that actually is. Top hat. Wait, so, okay, who am I? I'm like a ministry official, right? So I'm gonna be very straight-laced. That ain't it. I could see that, like a little jaunty. I think I'm either going with this. Let's just go nothing. Because this is insufferable. I can't. And I actually like this hair. I'm not even gonna fuck with the hair. I like it. My brow. Oh, how crow fucking magnon do I want to be? Very. And give me the biggest nose you got, boy. The biggest. That one was good. How many noses in there? Oh, that one's good too. I like that one. Oh man. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. Do I want to? What do I want to look like? Oh man. Oh, just super silliest motherfucker. I'm gonna be the biggest fucking asshole. Yeah, because also I'm not gonna. If you think about my character traits, I'm like sneaky and oily. I'm not gonna have a big chin and a big beard. I'm not gonna look like a Chad. I'm gonna look like a douchebag. Yeah. Yeah, huh? And then the outfit. What would my outfit look like? That's not bad. That's cool. It's like a diver's outfit or a great overcloak or something. Overcoat. But I think my guy's gonna be a little bit more unassuming. This is good. Term of address. Archivist, officer, principal, administrator, secretary, intendant, nurse, comrade, brother. I like Reverend, Madam, Sir. Sir is short and to the point. My lord, my lady. Specialist. I like specialist. Specialist implies to me that you have a job to do, and you think that you do it rather well. I like that. Oh, and specialist. Specialist. Taglock. Specialist taglock. Fuck! Just kidding, I'm Comrade Ahmed. Where was it? Okay. Looks good. These are my starting stats. These two would worry me a little bit. But it's fine. Okay, 3 weeks have passed. Well, that's a fast 3 weeks. This morning, the captain received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the serene mausoleum. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Her relatives are wondering why I'm here. In the final codicil, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the orphan was to pass to his first officer. Moi. Includes a certain black box contained in the hold. Her final request was that at a time of my choosing, I transport said box to an address in London and deposit it there. I am not to look inside. She gave no explanation. I can investigate it. I can take it to London as requested, or I could sell it and be done. I got $100, baby. Okay. So I hear him at the station. Yes, provision. Thank you. Okay. So, a lot of things to do here. The fastidious inspector. Excuse me, Captain. Short and square woman, shouldered in a neat black suit and polished shoes. The horological office. The body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the Empire. I'm hoping to book passages to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Sure. Thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault, I suspect. Gentleman fonder of brandy than diligence. An initial sum to seal our bargain. There's such a thing as north, south, east. Not that there's such a thing as north, south, east, or indeed west out here. But we picked 4 of the brighter, more reliable stars and named them northeast, south, and west. Londoners value familiarity. Okay. Alright, so she gave me $50 right off the pop. And I'm gonna recruit this dude. This will get me a chief engineer. Okay, so you have a crew, and then you also have officers. So I do have to pay him or her. I can't. Driver indicates a crashed engine is still smoking. Okay, I don't know if this is a guy or a gal or an NB pal. I'm not sure. Yeah. So if you look, where is it? Here? Officers, yeah. Chief engineer is the only officer I've got so far. Yeah, officers and mascots. They basically give you bonuses to stats. So like +2 hearts, +6 iron, +1 affiliation establishment. So that's like a establishment is a faction. I get like a +1 to relations with them. Eventually you want all these filled out. The other nice thing though, or the other important thing, is that these people have their own storylines, and some of them are more elaborate than others. But they're really good. Like, think like Mass Effect 2, building that crew. Following these people's storylines is really, really cool. And some of them are really interesting. Let's see what our old friend has to say. I believe this is related to our backstory. Oh no, ambition, I believe, is related to how we want the game to end. So following my return to New Winchester, I'm eager to meet up with an old friend. She is a staunch intelligencer. We worked together at the ministry, hardworking and incisive with little tolerance for office politics. She was a gifted handler, identifying, recruiting, and developing agents. I were an auditor. Oh, so that's why that's available to me. Her salary maintained a small informal zoo of dogs, cats, foxes, bats, guinea pigs, and 1 pony, all of which occupied her modest apartment in a state of fragile detente. But she soon became disillusioned with the ministry. It was monumental and stuffy, hidebound and sluggish. Tendering her resignation, she traded her pension for a locomotive and resolved to find another way to serve her city. Now she's captain of the Azazel and associates with a group of seasoned captains who gather at the Promise of Days here in New Winchester. Obviously, a pub. Perhaps you can find her there. Okay, onwards. Okay, so nice little story hook there. Hire on crew. Hire some of the turncoats to crew as replacement. Oh, I'm sorry. A famous captain has turned tail and fled back to London. Tackety? I believe the Tackety are like the resistance. So there's London, which is obviously the central authority, and then the Tackety are kind of like the backwater rebels, I'm pretty sure. We'll find out if I'm wrong. I need 10 bucks, and I can get some new people. And I got 3. Very nice. Very, very nice. Let's investigate this box, baby. Consider what to do with it. Try to remember. Okay, try to remember when the captain acquired the box. It's a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. The thing must weigh most of a ton. So where did she get it? Had it brought on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then. It's not empty now. Whatever is inside the box now, she found in the Blue Kingdom. So the land of the dead, in other words. Try to remember, I just did that. Examine the box. Wow, so there's a lot of shit I can do here. Wow, I don't even have a bad chance of doing that right off the bat, of detonating the lock. That's probably what I'll do once I acquire some carefully packed munitions. This would need an affiliation with villainy. I like the sound of that. I could sell it. I don't want to do that. Let's examine it. Let's examine the box. It's closed fast. No holes. No air. The recess with the keyhole is a more recent addition. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away to create space for a modern metal lock. So that's the point of weakness. Consider what to do with it. The last request was to transport it to a specific address in London. Okay. Perhaps later. Alright, let's explore the city. So, the smoggy, clanking, singing, stamping, thronging, frantic heart of the Reach. An ever-expanding port of soot-smudged glass and bright steel, spilling across a drifting, mist-wrapped archipelago. Its factories thunder, its engine sheds ring with hammers and hiss with steam. Locomotives chug into sidings for repair, or flare across the sky and away into the high wilderness. Let's learn about trading, I guess. I don't have a trading opportunity. I guess I can only have one at once. A porter at the station advises you to visit the nearby pub, the promise of days, and talk to the seasoned captains there. Okay. I will do that. Oh yeah, it's a club where seasoned captains gather to trade stories and share advice. Okay. Introduce yourself to the seasoned captains. Yeah, let's do that. 4 are gathered at their usual table. The masked citizen, the devil didact, the plucky baroness, and spatchcocker Meg. I mean, I'd like Meg to spatch my cock. I don't know about you guys. Everything out here is jolly dangerous. Blah, 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 blah. Collect port reports from the places you visit. Okay, so you guys will kind of see this as we go, but everything is kind of a ticking time bomb. Not ticking time bomb, but it's ticking down. You need to gather resources faster than you use them. The resources are fuel and supplies, and your sanity is also a resource. It's going to increase kind of a pace, and you need to figure out ways to buy that down. This is one of the ways to do it. Visiting a new port will give you a port report, and you can turn those in for... It's either money with which you can buy fuel and stuff, or it's like fuel directly. I think it is just money. Passengers who want transport, rich men in need of bloody work, etc. Yeah, let's do both of these. What about... Well, let's do this first. Core mechanics. How do I make my fortune through trade? Ah, an essential topic. Ask away. How can I buy and sell goods? You can sell practically anything at a big trade hub like New Winchester. If you want to buy, though, you'll need to travel to more distant ports. Each specializes in a particular export. So you can totally make your living here by doing exactly this, by just being a trader. Going to somewhere, buying whatever they've got for sale like at a discount, and then bringing it back somewhere that is gonna buy it for a higher price. Okay, yeah, buy low, sell high. Duh. What is a prospect? The biggest port in each region has a bazaar where captains do business. Sometimes, yeah, people are willing to pay more than usual for a good. So you can buy it, and then go, and they'll buy. Like, so, yeah, somebody will, like, put out a request for, like, diamonds or whatever. You can go find some diamonds, and then they'll buy a certain amount of those for an inflated price. Accept prospects in the bazaars at major ports. You can accept up to 4 at once. Yep. Are there any good prospects? Ooh. Let's see. The host at Magdalene's needs an urgent delivery of seeds, paying a pretty penny too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away. Put my mark against it. And, okay, so Magdalene's, which is obviously another port, wants seeds. Port Avon is selling cheap seeds. So, south-southeast to buy the seeds, go west to sell the seeds. Sounds like a good starting plan. Is it same one or different? Oh, same one. So I need to go to the bazaar and accept the prospect. Okay. Where can I buy goods cheaply? Visit the bazaars at quieter ports. Find bargains at any minor port's bazaar. Okay. So it's just like whatever you happen to find. Affiliations. It ain't what you is, it's who you know. In it. Nepotism. The wider your circles, the more advantageous the opportunities that will present themselves. So, like, the more factions like you, the more opportunities they'll give you. Kind of makes sense, right? Academe, Bohemia, Establishment, and Villainy. I believe some of these are mutually exclusive. Like, it's very hard to please everybody, so you shouldn't try. I'm going to be a good establishment boy. I also don't think that they're all mutually exclusive. So if I could get like 2 of them high, that would be good. Maybe establishment and academia. Those seem like the 2, most logical ones. Change the subject. Do you have anything else to say? Oh yeah, and my staunch intelligence. Let's do the story hook. She speaks of me often, but I've missed her. She's been doing important work in London. She has a letter for me, okay? Read the letter elsewhere in New Winchester, so go elsewhere. Alright, sick dude. See ya. And let's read the letter. Decode her hidden message. I need 2 savage secrets. So it's like a currency. Okay, so privately I examined the letter. She writes coyly of having embarked on a journey of the most fundamental discovery, and of having uncovered celestial secrets. She wants to discuss her progress with me, but does not say where or when. And then there are unfinished crosswords cut from the newspapers. Alright, so that's... I'm gonna have to do that later. Right. Do I want to repair it? No, I'm at 83% of full health here. Shops. So we've got our bazaar. Okay, let's do this one. Claim that one, and I might as well claim this one too. 5 barrels of unseasoned hours delivered to the ringmaster, Palmier and Plain's inconceivable circus, The Reach. Inconceivable circus lies to the north of New Winchester. I might as well grab it. You can have 4 at one time. So, I don't know if I'll have a chance to do that right away. Couldn't hurt. Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, and then shops. Engineering, I believe, is where you buy new parts for your ship. How much money do I have available? 136. So, oh, here we go. Jerusalem. Common, yeah, okay. So, like, this is a regular cannon. Rapid fire. Captains who value volume over precision. Careful not to let it overheat. Okay, and then is this like a shotgun? Your range is considerably lower. Yep. Forever there is a judgment. Effectively a locomotive mounted blunderbuss. Fucking awesome. Described as a proper bugger to reload. I think I'm good with the base one for now. So cozy cabins, that would allow me to have more crew. Requires veils at 25, interesting. Shielding, sounds useful. Notice that everything has a weight here. The more weight you have, the more fuel it takes you to traverse a given distance. A canning station. +1 butchery. Yeah, so like we saw with that monster that we killed. If I had had a canning station, I would have been able to like cut it up for probably supplies. This gives you more to your hold and the ability to can. And then yeah, so like there's kind of a rarity system here too. Like this is common, this is uncommon. Additional cargo bay. Sounds useful. So I can't afford any of this shit right now. This is a what is this? A mine. A mine. Interesting. The Britomart. It's an engine. Interesting. I think this is what we've got. Alright. What is this? Swift rocket that can be detonated at range. I don't think I have anything to sell. This is the stuff I do? Wait, selling. Is this the stuff I have? No, no way. Look at this. This is so weird. Selling shows you some of the stuff you could get. Like the Wrath of Heaven. That sounds good. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's good. All right. God damn it. Fucking Victoria Market. Aha. Here's where we buy fuel and supplies. So I'm not exactly like flush with either. Oh, and then the engine yards where you actually buy new ships. So this has got one slot for a regular weapon, one slot for like a large weapon, nowhere for armor, 2 slots for I don't know what that is, like random shit. And yeah, these are all like different classes of thing you can put on your ship. Here we go. Here's the hold of my ship. Here's how much stuff I can hold. I've got a regular gun. There's space for another small armament. Auxiliary, a bridge slot, a plating slot, and then my engine, and a mascot. Or whatever. Yeah, I think it's called a mascot. No, it's a scout. And these are my prospects, okay? So yeah, like, great. Hold. I clearly need some more fuel, because I've got, like, not a lot. I don't have a lot of money. I also don't have a whole lot of space in my hold. Look, I can hold 12 things. I'm gonna buy that. But I'm not super confident about it. Okay. Let's follow up on that prospect. I'm gonna go southeast. What was it? It was southeast, right? Oh, it doesn't. Is there a log? No. Journal. Southeast. Port Avon lies. Okay, let's do that then. Should I go this way or this way? Oh, we haven't been this way yet. Let's do that. Undock. Alright, let's do it. So one thing I remember is that you get kind of like points for exploring, and you don't, there are all the different kinds of things you can discover. Like it could be a port, but it could be just like an interesting feature, right? Like this, Scamp's Narrow. So I got some like exploring points for that. And also notice my terror is beginning to creep up. Wispy condensation trails across the sky, the ghosts of passing trains. Spoopy. In a little bit, I'm going to throw my scout out here. Like maybe... Still going south-southeast. The distant nebula shines on this place. It's light as mellow as melted butter. Oh, look! I found it. Nowhere in. Nice, I didn't have to use my scout. I just found it. Port Avon! You can run into things. Running into things damages your ship. Anyway, I discovered a new port. This has significantly reduced your terror. Your crew are always thankful to find another place of relative safety in the skies. Behold, a ruin of giants. Gargantuan blocks jigsaw together, furred with moss and whispering with orchards. A bucolic village nestles amongst them. Smoke coils daintily from the chimneys. A leisurely game of cricket unfolds on the village green. A ramshackle dock juts into the sky beside a farmyard scattered with rusty locomotive parts. A plating, piping, a chugging motor with its innards exposed. Alright, so yeah, like I said, kind of a backwater. An oily-faced, black-haired girl waves her locomotive into position. Welcome to Port Avon. A rich note of scent greets you. Leaves and wood smoke, enriched by an infrequent but pungent intrusion of goat. Okay, yeah. Rural. Port Avon welcomes new visitors, but your novelty will wear off the more time you spend there. When you visit in the future, you may need to bring something to keep them friendly. A welcome is now 3. Okay. Write a port report. So I can then take this back to other ports, or I think to Winchester, specifically New Winchester. To earn your rewards, hand your port reports to the indurate veteran or the prudent secretary. They're normally found in Victory Hall and Company House, docks near New Winchester. However, they can move as the War in the Reach progresses. I forgot to ask about the War in the Reach. Whoops. There's nothing else I can do here. If I had tea, I could increase my welcome. Perhaps later. Recruit a repentant devil. Sure. Can't. I need 100 money. A signaler. That's pretty good. But I don't have the money. An opportunity. A late night excursion reveals the villagers. Oh wait, sorry. A mining vessel is docked at Port Avon to the consternation of its residents. The locals complain of noises in the night and wrongdoings over the ruins. Miners are attempting to fence stolen hours to buyers they meet within the ruins that loom over the village. So hours are like a physical currency. You can buy, literally buy time. Man. So I could buy some of these hours if I had enough money. And I'm guessing this is a better price than what I would pay normally for them. The question is, will this be available later? Because if it is, I'd like to keep it here for when I do have more money. But I don't think that it is. So I might as well just gain the welcome right now. Let's go into Port Avon. God, I can't do anything. Fuck. Alright. I don't know if this persists between visits. I hope it does. Let's go to the village green. The golden nebula scintillates above Port Avon's apple trees, allotments, eel fishers, and steepled church. Here you may, if you choose, immerse yourself in the village's quaint rhythm. So, let's go to the village green first. Watch a cricket match. The game could charitably be described as stately. There's a moment of excitement when the batsman hits a six and the ball whizzes over the thatched roofs off the edge of the port and is lost forever in the starry deeps. Someone goes to get another ball. I'll attend a service at the church. Let's do that. I have a vision of the heavens. So this is actually good. That's a thing. I could do it again. Right? Do I get another vision of the heavens? A sky story. Oh, nice. It's a different sermon this time. What do I get this time? Vision of the heavens. Let's take a relaxing stroll. Nothing. Interesting. What was the point of that? Does something different happen now, or is that a buy-in to the church? Interesting. Auroral sommelier. Someone has grafted brass wheels to the carcass of an old armoire and impaled its top with a jaunty damask umbrella. A man stands behind it, flesh and finery the colors of the dawn, shepherding customers through their sampling of wines. Sweet wines, sour wines, subtle wines, and sinful, spirits of every vintage, save of course the Hesperidian cider. He gives a small, sad laugh. I know because I looked. This is the only place with real apples, but even here that cider eludes me. He beckons you with a gloved hand. Asks him about the cider. Yeah. Come here, come closer and listen, you effervescent thing. I have a story. An associate of mine, he once gave me a sip of it. One golden drop to place under my tongue, and my life was changed. I went back to the story immediately, of course, but the price was too much. And then eventually the dreams drained away, and now I'm here, serving wine to drunks. So quite a high, but then quite a hangover afterwards. He gives me the address nonetheless. If you decide to risk the same grief, savor it for me. Apparently purchasable from an unusual shop in London. Okay. Doesn't look like there's anything else to do here. What about this? The Nowhere Inn. I could read a work of speculative fiction. I could appreciate an amount of cider. With a 27% chance of success. No, thank you. Speak to a cryptozoologist. Or head upstairs. Hunting club. That sounds fun. Request membership of the club. Sure. Stout veteran. Application? No, not a member of money. Trophies. Requested that I gather trophies for their walls. A Cantankerite trophy, a Chorister trophy, and a Scribe Spinster trophy. If I were newly playing this game, I wouldn't know what most of these things are. I've encountered a Cantankerite, or Cantankerus, or whatever. Okay, I don't have those. Perhaps later. Let's speak to a cryptozoologist. Weighed down by 2 backpacks and a heavy duffel coat. I need passage. I'm on the trail of unusual beasts. Sure. Where are you going? Hybris. They say there's a colony of singing Blemmingans there. What the fuck is a Blemmingan? Oh, it's a little mushroom with teeth. Reading, folks. I'm a huge fan of their poetry. I'd love to hear what they're singing about. Okay, so I'm now escorting her to Hybris. And let's do this too. Inebriated Blemmingen. Ooh, I get a mascot. Fuck yeah. How much money do I need? 50! I don't know, is that worth it? Oh, that's what the Blemmingans look like apparently. Yeah, that's a mushroom. I don't think that's worth it. I feel like I don't have enough of a buffer right now. Perhaps later. What, is there anything else we can do here? Cyclopean ruins. Wow. Success will grant you a vision of the heavens or a nocturnal excavation. Anyway, not one of the looming stones is quite square, yet they all slot together immaculately. What were these ruins before their fall? Even their bones are tall and stately as the finest cathedrals of old France. What purpose did they serve in the past plentiful days when their sun still shone? I'm trying to remember what Cyclopean means. I think it means like old. Relating to or suggestive of a cyclops, or very big, or of or constituting a very primitive style of masonry characterized by the use of massive stones of irregular shape and size. So it's probably a combination of 2 and 3. Irregular shape and size, and also very large. Good to know. I'm not going to do these because I've got a 28 and a 29% chance respectively to succeed, so no thanks. What is this? Sharp incense. So I can buy souls here. That's not concerning at all. Or go to the bazaar. Wait. Okay, so yes, right, this is where I'm buying seeds. Does it show 3 because that's as many as they have, or because that's as much as I can buy? I don't know. Oh, did I gain a level? I did gain a level. Take a facet. Whoa, what did the winds of fate hold in store? 5 iron, 3 mirrors? Or 5 iron, 3 hearts? Interesting. So what do I want here? These are all 5-3, but then these also give you something extra. So I think I'm going to do one of these. Right? My letter of resignation. Affiliations sound good to have. So do cryptic benefactors. Anyway, my letter of resignation. One day I was informed that my services as the ministry were no longer required. They required my immediate resignation. They wouldn't fire me, of course. The ministry does not make mistakes. What had led to my sudden departure? I wonder. Which of these should I do? So, plus mirrors. I get hearts, the skill of convincing and enduring. Or veils, the skill of deceiving and evading. So basically, like, do I want to go down the same route I've been going down? Or do I want to start being a little more well-rounded? Oh, it shows me what I've got to start with. That's nice. Let's keep going the way we've been going for now.